Hello and welcome to your Lilith in Taurus reading, as well as Lilith in the second house. So I feel like Lilith in the second house is a little more secondary than the Lilith in Taurus, but I think the message can pertain to both groups. So I do encourage you, if you're exploring the Lilith readings, the Dark Lady, do look at what your Lilith is in terms of the zodiac sign, and then what house that's sitting in. So, each time before I go in to do these, I just look in real quick to get a little understanding of myself. I just literally, I search it online to get a quick reference about what Lilith sort of represents in this sign. So I made some notes here. So Lilith in Taurus, this has a lot to do with the possession and rejection of physical things in life, which makes a lot of sense. And Taurus is also a very sensual sign that really appreciates beauty. So these can be things that can be really magnified in your experience in life. The appreciation of beauty, the appreciation of sensuality. It would be an interesting combination if you do have Lilith and Taurus and the second house together. I almost feel like for some of you, you might have issues of betrayal associated with sensuality for yourself, some of you. And that sign, depending on what your childhood was like. So really know and appreciate beauty and your body, or not at all. Like you could, that's the thing with Lilith. Like you can, if you're hearing these sort of messages through Lilith and you're saying, but I don't feel like I'm at that extreme, or I'm at this extreme, or, you know, I was kind of like at that extreme when I was younger, and now I feel like I've really found balance in it. I want to say, I think that's an indication that you do have balance in your Lilith. So these are just to make us aware, and also to think about, one of the things that came up in Aries, I think it was their extended for Lilith, it talked about like eating disorders came through in the cards that I pulled for that, and that this would always be something that you're always going to work on and strive and struggle through. And it might seem like you've got it figured out, and then all of a sudden something's going to come up in front of you in life. It's going to kind of trigger that and say, okay, how do you develop this more? How do you strengthen this more for yourself? How do you become more aware of it beyond the point that you are right now? So we can never really say that I'm balanced and nothing's going to change that. I know why I'm saying that. Okay, because that's the other thing I read here with this Lilith and Taurus. Strong beliefs about people and ideas, but the world is ever changing. So you can have a strong concept about something with Lilith and Taurus, and it can be a concept about your own sexuality, or about how you think what a person's personality really is, or a political situation like this. Many things. For the most part, though, I don't want to say I would put too much political things in this, unless you're seeing how they apply to your life, because this is really like physical stuff going on in your life, physical people in your life. And when people start to change, or even resisting your own change, because, well, this is who I am and this is what I understand myself to be, that can be the challenge here with Lilith and Taurus. Is that ever changing? And yeah. So it's interesting, isn't it? So in the second house, this is really interesting. So the Lilith in the second house, sense of worth affected by early childhood experiences through pain and possibly trauma. Often a sense of not feeling good enough, allowing betrayal from others to betray yourself. Like, over time, it's almost like that little voice in the back of your head saying, don't do that. They won't be interested, or don't do that. They won't hire you, or that can really start to happen. I want to go back to with Lilith and Taurus. Oh shoot, what was it? It came into my head. I wanted to say it, and I forgot to say it. I moved into the second house, and it came into my head, but I kept moving with the second house, and now it's gone. I need extra gerbils in my brain to hold all the information. I've got like so many gerbils on the wheel right now, and I can't take any more. What was that? Sense of worth affected by early childhood experiences through pain and trauma. Oh, okay, yeah. Often a sense of not feeling good enough. But this can also be reversed to like just not finding anyone good enough for you. So this is the scale on how things can play out here for you in this sign. And again, if you're really seeing like, you know what, I think I've struck balance in that, Cindy. That's a good sign. So we're gonna do the reading now with the cards. So this is just to give us a basis. Now, whatever comes out of here is, I don't even want to necessarily apply it directly to anything we've read. It could be a completely separate message. Colin and Lilith here, the Dark Lady, she's sitting here looking at me with you and your symbol of Taurus. So I have combined the, she's asked me to, I did it first in Aries and it'll be for the whole series, the Heaven and Earth deck and the Murder of Crows deck. It's absolutely uncanny. They are exactly the same size, paperweight, everything. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to start with a message from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. There are extendeds in these as well. So if you're drawn to it, the link is at the top of the description within this video. In the extendeds, I keep them open because I really like, honestly, she's in charge here. So I don't know, she might ask me to pull out some sort of extended that I've done in the past for a High Priestess reading, or it just might be completely open. And if you do go to the trailer, like I kind of say that, I don't know. It's whoever's coming in, that's who the message is for in the extendeds, and that's how it's going to be. Just like, so deal with it. Okay. Lilith and Taurus. Lilith and Taurus. I will be, for the most part, saying Lilith and Taurus throughout this. But do remember, too, these messages can be for your second house because Taurus rules the second house. So you can see how you can apply that. Because you can have Lilith in, like Virgo, but your Virgo could be sitting in your second house. So what do we have here? Idealism. Look at this. Sun in Aquarius. See, this is a really broad, expansive possibilities of thinking and applying that and bringing, I'm hearing like bringing ideas to life. Oh, this can be dangerous too. Even if you have like a really, very broad and expansive idea about a concept in something, whether it's society, an idea how to apply your life or your family, how to lead through that. Taurus too, I really feel like is one that's really like a bit of a homebody energy. So I feel like a lot of times home and work, like how they apply that, how you apply that ideas as, let's say, out of the box and groundbreaking as they are when they develop, at some point these ideas are no longer groundbreaking, and it's good to allow them to change or even just completely fall away and pick up something new. That's so keen that you got Sun in Aquarius after what we talked about. The humanitarian. So this might have something to do with humanitarian. I'm just going to let the message come out. I'm just letting it flow, but it does seem to be something about more expansive concept of who you are. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing a more expansive concept of who you are. That this possessing ideas and holding strong onto them is more about yourself. The idealistic you is one that is constantly changing and evolving. Even during like some of the times where you hold a concept of yourself, a label, an identity, to let that expand. And it's going to be the ones that you hold on the most. Like if you've spent, here's one that I can just, this is a scenario that I see in my community because I'm a mom and so I deal with a lot of other moms. Like a lot of them, their kids are getting to an age where they're just not spending much time at home anymore. And a lot of the moms that were stay at home, like they haven't in all honesty had time to look after themselves. And some of them have 4 and 5 kids. A lot of kids. That's a lot of commitment there. And keeping that house going, you know, when their husbands or their partners working. I mean, they had a balance, but there's a big shift coming for a lot of them. And a lot of them aren't happy with their body image right now. A lot of them aren't happy with, like, what do I do with myself? What can I do? They just see themselves so much of who they are right now, because that's something that's gone on for them for such a long time. And even like if you're retiring or you're changing a career, like these things can be really, they can be hard. I'm just sensing they could be hard for this group because it's really like the deepest parts of you. And moving past the deepest parts of you are not the easiest things to do. So too, if you feel like you're falling, don't feel like you're falling short. And like, this is, I think, a huge step just to come to a reading like this and try to get a better, deeper sense of self-assessment. Being more fluid and flexible in the idealism of you. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is really focused on the you. Yeah, okay, this is all focused on you, Lilith and Taurus people. It's a big deck when you put two of them together. I don't know how readers do that. Knight of Swords. Let me just pull everything out here. Can you form 4? Oh, wow, man. I'm going to put stuff underneath. Yes, we are. Sorry, I'm really sweaty. I had to go take my car in to have something done. And I opted to put my bike on the bike rack and ride my bike back. And I got really sweaty and I'm trying to cool off. Yeah, look at this. Actually, all the cards you had to start with were Heaven and Earth. And now you're getting Murder of Crows sitting underneath that. Oh my gosh. There's definitely the sense of oppression here. I'm really hearing, guys, that you are not the oppressors, that you are letting situations oppress you. Okay, I'm trying not to doubt any messages coming through, but I'm going to say, so one of the things that I'm seeing is, for some of you, like there's certain circumstances that you may feel like you can't change, or you've got to kind of stick with them. And okay, so one example that's coming up is someone who has been looking after their kids for a long time throughout their life, and then they're getting ready to go and so okay, I'm brave enough, I'm going to change how I see myself, I'm going to join the gym membership, even though, you know, everyone going there is like buff and svelte, and, you know, you got muffin top and things are flopping and where they shouldn't be flopping, but, well, no, they could flop wherever they want, really. But already, okay, I've done this psychologically, I'm ready to do it, I signed up, I'm drinking my smoothies, and then a parent or someone becomes like frail or ill. And you kind of have to. I mean, this person raised you. You're hoping your kids will look after you when you're old. And you had a good relationship with them. And then that pulls you over there. So I'm just getting this sense of, there are points where you literally, it feels like I have no control over this. I keep trying to change the ideal of who I am, Cindy, Lilith. But no, she hears you, but it can't be changed. So what I got in that, I don't know how helpful this is for some of you. I was kind of shown the picture of someone like in confinement. What do you call that? Like solitary confinement. A person in solitary confinement. They have no control over their situation or their life, but they have absolute control over what's going on internally. It seems like a really hard message to deliver because, I don't know, just like through the pandemic myself, I felt like I have very little control. And there's a lot of shit that can go on inside. I can't imagine like that kind of, she's heavy and she's a no bullshitter. So she's just saying, others can do it. You can do it too. Situations will change. There's something that's happening for you to delve deeper than anyone else around you has had to delve, to pull something out. So don't feel like, how interesting. Don't feel like the universe is against you if situations are not setting up themselves when, you know, you're finally ready to do it. And it might have been a big thing for you to be psychologically, mentally, emotionally ready to change how you saw yourself or to change your concept about yourself. It's actually, the universe has picked you because you have more depth than most. So don't let it scare you. I really think that's something too. Like, I just feel like anyone who's coming to these messages, I'm really honored for something that's so like non-bullshit to be coming through my channel. But she's coming through for every one of you. So you're like included in this. But she expects. She's not, you know, the soft and easy kind of parent type. She expects. And she knows your worth. So what do we have here? We have the Knight of Swords. I guess you can't see them all. I know the setup is not as good. Knight of Swords, Eight of Swords, the Star, the Ten of Wands. Underneath the Knight of Swords, you have the Princess or Page of Pentacles. You have the Four of Cups under the Eight of Swords. You have the Knight of Cups under the Star. And you have the Three of Swords underneath the Ten of Wands. And look at this. The Ten of Wands is oppression. It's called oppression in this deck. Three of Swords. It's almost like feeling the weight. You feel that you carry more on your shoulders than you need to. She's so tough. She just keeps telling me stuff like, yeah, but no one else can carry it. So look at this. I mean, this is what I was just talking about. Like wanting to charge forward the Knight of Swords and hitting the Eight of Swords. You finally know what you want. You finally see your clarity. You're finally going for it. And what's on the other side of the Eight of Swords is the Star. And then there's this oppression, the Ten of Wands. Your dreams, your hopes, your healing. It feels like a real back and forth in some of this energy for you guys. This might seem how life plays out for you in a lot of different ways. The oppression really plays with your mind and your heart. And so if the oppression is playing with the Ten of Wands, is playing with your mind and the heart, like the heavy burdens that you feel forced to carry, but you can't release these. They're strapped to you. It does feel like, well, that whole scenario of like being in confinement, isolation, it's almost like forcing you to correct the heart and the mind. It's forcing you to find the love within yourself with the Four of Cups into the Knight of Cups. Because the Eight of Swords has the Four of Cups under it. It feels like situations that will happen when you're ready to go, and then all of a sudden everything changed. It can be something as simple as you haven't been to a movie in a year and a half. And you're finally good to go. You're going to the movies, and you get into your car, like you need your car to get there for whatever reason, just distance, and the battery's dead. Like, shit. And it does, and that with the Four of Cups, you feel like a missed opportunity. Like, you've missed this opportunity now. What am I going to do? Or all my friends are starting to exercise and work out and get healthy, but I can't. Now I have to go look after a parent who's now ailing. Do I get a break at some point? I'm really getting that, like this feeling of, do I get a break from this Taurus, this Lilith and Taurus? I'm going to pull clarifiers for this Ten of Wands and the Three of Swords, because this feels like the point where it's almost like your breaking point, but it's meant to be your strengthening point. There's oppression with the Three of Swords. For some of you too, it could be how systems are functioning around you, and the belief systems, like how you see these systems. Oppression and the Three of Swords. Look at the Knight of Cups and the World. Wow, the Knight of Cups is under the Star. Oh my gosh, guys, there's a lot of heartbreak in this zone. I feel like the world is the end of a cycle. Gosh, it's just stop focusing on the heart. There's something about the mind here then. With the Three of Swords, the heart and the mind being in conflict. The oppression here. So stop focusing on the heart. So you've got to focus on the mind here. Mental health, mental stability. The Queen of Swords. What am I telling you? The Queen of Swords. Okay. When you feel like you cannot move forward, you feel like the world is against you, you feel like the universe is pushing you down, it feels like this is an end to being able to move forward in the most wonderful way that I would like to. I would like to join the gym. I would like to join the new Reiki healing class with my friends, or I would like whatever that might be for you. Or I'm going to retire and I'm gonna golf. I'm gonna go golfing 3 times a week, or whatever that is for you. It almost feels like, yes, maybe it almost does start to happen. And then something comes in and you have to pull on some sort of heavy responsibility. The Queen of Swords. You're always being asked to reassess what truth is, how you possess this truth. I feel like you're always being asked to figure out who you are in your mindset. And it's going to happen in really uncomfortable ways. Okay, underneath you have the Seven of Wands, the Nine of Cups, the Empress, Love, and then it's reversed. So, okay, I feel like you have found, so I'll show you, you have the Seven of Wands, right? It's kind of like defensive energy. The Nine of Cups, though, is like finding your own happiness, being the captain of your happy train. Empress, absolute abundance, very interesting too, because it's the epitome of Venus energy, which is the planet for Taurus, Venus. And then Love, which is like the lovers, your choices. But just the fact it says love. It does feel like partnership. There's a partnership here for you that's really important between your heart and your mind in this experience. And I feel like what you get in your heart is you get balance in that first. You do really have balance in that first. But it's the mental anxiety, the mental anguish of, because you feel like, well, the heart is balanced. I want to move forward with it. I want to do this now. I'm feeling like this is what I want to explore. But it's as if to say, no, your right hand is good. You're good with writing with your right hand. We're going to tie it behind your back. You need to utilize the left hand more. Oh my God, I was ready to make this beautiful piece of artwork. You're going to make shitty artwork with the left hand for a little bit. And then you're going to get really good. Like, it's a really difficult, it is playing really tough on you. I will say that in this message. But with the Queen of Swords, so cut things out too. Don't be afraid to cut things out. There might be things that you feel like, well, I can't cut that out. I can't cut out that narcissistic parent. I can't cut out that narcissistic sibling because they're my blood. Blood is nothing. Blood is nothing. It really is. It's not. It's the soul connection that you have with people is everything. Because blood is just of the earth. But that could be part of the problem because it's such an earthly element, Taurus. So it could be really, really hard for you to push beyond that concept. That it's not just the blood. It's not just the earthly element that creates this idealism for you. It's really like your mind is the key here to release your heart. But I feel like the mind, it's the concepts. I know I just kind of keep saying it over and over again. It just keeps coming up. The Ten of Pentacles is at the bottom for that. That is very Taurian energy too. But the abundance. I'm hearing for some of you, like sometimes you might have difficulty looking beyond the faults of what sits inside your happy paradise. So you could have a happy paradise within things, but maybe, so I don't know, I'm getting a really interesting message here. And this I'm just hearing like one of these kids, this one, for whatever reason, I don't know, I'm just being shown a story here. This one here is not very happy. This one here doesn't like everything that's been created, but this one here feels like they need to follow what this is. Maybe you were this kid at some point, or maybe it's a child in your life. Maybe it's a niece or a nephew, somebody or someone that you will deal with in life that is blood, but doesn't want to do anything that's already been done, doesn't want to be anything that's already been done and established. And there is a sense of, there's a sense of pride here. I am getting that. A sense of pride, like wanting your children to have what you have. Well, what did I work for? I'm really hearing this. What did I work for? What did we build all of this for if you're not going to keep on that path? And when I say keep on that path, I don't know, choose a career that doesn't necessarily give them much money. And choose a career that may not necessarily give them much of a future. I feel like these are people that you really, I mean, you're going to feel really, really close with. And it's not to say that you don't have a soul contract with blood. You do. But you can have just as strong or stronger soul contracts with people that aren't blood. That aren't, that you aren't necessarily connected through the vehicle and the DNA of life on Earth. What was at the bottom here? Inspiration. See, it's a little bit like your mind needs to be set free in this energy. Really getting that, right? Like, and then Mercury in Pisces. So it's very dreamy, very spiritual. Your own spiritual communication. See, there we go. Here's how it's wrapping it up. Okay, just sort of imagine like being in some sort of solitary confinement. And what do you have but your mind? And who is with you? Pretty much no one but you and God. If you believe in like an outside source beyond yourself. And this to me just feels like, well, that would be the communion with that. That would be the communication with Mercury and Pisces. But it's also kind of working through your own dark shadows. I want to pull just something for the Empress in Love, because this is a beautiful, I feel like the beauty in your heart here. But it's the conflict and the concepts of the mind. Oh God, the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Swords. It is, the mind keeps coming in here, my Lilith and Tauruses. The mind, the mind, the mind. So that is your message for this one. What's at the bottom now? Strength. You got it. You can do it. You can do it. It's not always going to be a hard road, but there's always going to be a new challenge around the corner. There you go, Lilith and Tauruses and second houses. Thanks so much, guys. I'm going to go do the extended. I'm not being told anything specific. If you wanted a heads up on exactly what kind of reading it will be, I will just be using different cards and decks and see how it goes. Thank you so much. Until next time, to be gentle with yourselves. Bye.